G'day traders, Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading, Friday, June 12th. Daily currency levels for the British pound crosses coming up in a couple minutes. GBP for the Great Britain pound. And tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. New York Eastern Standard Time, we have preliminary U of M consumer report. Pound Aussie yesterday had another sort of up day, but it was a slow dragging day, but the market did push higher. We've had one push, two pushes, three pushes up now from the low. We've completed a full second expansion, but we're still underneath of that second expansion, and this market potentially could resume its downward drive. We're still sitting above the 8250 level and below the 8500 level. On our 4-hour chart, we can see the market has pushed up, broken through 8250, and then yesterday continued that move upwards, hitting stops from last week's short traders. The market has had a 2-bar reversal engulfment setting up this morning and currently pulling back on top of the rectangle that it's broken out of yesterday. If it breaks through back underneath of that peak at 83.19, we could see this market at least retest breakout traders at the 82.50 level, which is 100 pips away from where we're at now. When we look at our 15-minute chart, we can see the market potentially has put in a 1 push, 2 push, 3 push pattern with a 1, 2, 3 at the peak formation. Markets dropped down in the extended 3-hour window outside of Asia, and it's currently rolled underneath of the Asian session initial 3-hour high and low. We're heading into news in a couple of minutes. This market could either accelerate down or pull back and stop hunt traders who are short. Potentially the 83.75 level may become an area for support or resistance. We have stops all the way down back to that 82.50 level that we mentioned. If the market was to do a full expansion from this upper rectangle that we've just broken through, first full expansion takes us to about 83.15, and the second one takes us to the 82.50 level where that breakout on the 4-hour chart occurred. Again, currently trading at the 83.50 level as we head into the news in 1 minute. Pound Canadian, again, was fairly consolidated but found support at the 1.7,000 level before pushing back underneath of the first rectangle that we broke out of from that upper 1 push, 2 push, 3 push pattern underneath the lows of 71.75 before just temporarily pulling back as we speak now. If the market was to pull back inside of this rectangle, we could see a retest back down towards the low of that box. Stop sitting below 68.50 and of course down at the lower part of the 250 pip box. On our 4-hour chart, we can see that market's been a creeping trend. We had a somewhat of a ascending triangle forming. The market's broken out of that and currently pulling back inside of the highs, holding around 71.25. If the market was to fall, we could hit the lows from yesterday's session at 70.50, which again is just over 80 pips from where we're trading at currently. On our 15-minute chart, the market's been fairly choppy but making new highs. And again, similar to the Pound Aussie, we potentially may have a peak formation in place with a 1 push, 2 push, 3 push micro head and shoulders pattern. Got our left shoulder, our head, and the Asian high as our right shoulder. We're currently trading, the market has broke through the swing low, splitting the Asian box, and we're currently trading back up towards underneath of that level. If the market was to roll over, we could see a bit of a breakdown through the lows of the day, taking out U.S. session swing lows last night at 7,100, and of course yesterday's low of the day at 70.50 could remain a target as we speak. If we were to push through this upper border for the high of the day at just above 71.50, we could resume our upward push towards the 71.75 level. Currently trading sideways just above 71.25. Our pound Swiss We've had 3 days of fall coming back, and stop hunting traders who were long off the breakout on Monday of last week. We're back inside of the previous month's high and low, sitting on top of that 1855 area. So back inside of a consolidation after 3 days of strong movement down. We do have stops below the swing lows of last week at 1810, currently trading at 1898. On our 4-hour chart, we can see that trend line break off that peak formation. The measured move of that peak formation has been met. If we were to extend down further, there's still 1790 could remain a target, which would take us back towards the lows of 2 weeks ago, the swing lows roughly around the 1800, 1825 area. Currently, we're just consolidating sideways at the 1875 level, 1850 to 1875. And market has just had a 4-bar consolidation. On our 15-minute chart, we can see that yesterday's peak formation has remained intact. We've had a micro double bottom sloping W formation heading into the news that potentially may be finding resistance at the high of the day at the 1900 level. If the market was to break through this, we could find support and keep moving towards the U.S. session highs. But if this market rolls back over or pushes into this and reverses, we could take out the lows of the day of the Asian session and continue its downward drive from the last 2 days. Very strong downward moving market. And again, we looked at this on the 4-hour. There are stops below the swing lows at 1810. So again, currently trading underneath of 1900. The market may find a bit of resistance. 1 push, 2 push, possibly a 3rd push pattern for a move back down towards the lows. Our pound yen, again, similar 3 days of strong downward movement from the beginning of the week after Monday reversal. Finding possible support around that 3,500 level. We have a bull pin bar forming, although we're only partway through the session for the day. We can see this 1-bar pullback and the market pushing up towards the 3,500 level. If this market was to reverse on a engulfment back in the other direction, we could potentially have a measured move in the area of that 3250, possibly even the 130.85 area, which again would take out stops from a few weeks ago. Traders who are long around that 3190 area, 3185. But again, currently we've pulled back. We're back up above 3,500 as we speak. We look at our 15-minute chart. We can see that aggressive movement up going into the news. This could be a stop hunt for a rollover retest. But again, we've had 1 push, 2 push, and possibly a 1, 2, 3 as we head into the Europe London Open. I'll just blow this up so traders can see that a bit better. Again, we've had a 1 push, 2 push, possibly a 1, 2, 3 heading into the Europe Open. The market did break through yesterday just above that 35.25 area. The market may find a bit of resistance around there for a possible peak formation and maybe a reversal and a retest of the lows. Pound New Zealand. Again, this market's had 2 strong days of upward movement after a big downtrend. We've pulled off of the 95.75 area. Market's temporarily pulled back. We do still have stops below the low of the week, as well as down above the 9,300 area. On our 4-hour chart, we can see the market's pushed, 1 push, 2 push, and pulled back inside of the lower rectangle that we were trading in, but we do have stops below the swing candles at 1.9494, as well as below 1.9450. So again, this market possibly could retest these lows if it's lost some steam. When we look at our 15-minute chart, similar to the pound Aussie, we may have a peak formation in place. 1 push, 2 push, 3 pushes, and a micro double top on that 3rd push before dropping down, pulling back and retesting, and dropping down again through the 95.50 level. Taking out swing stops from the lows of the Asian session. The market, if it was to find resistance between 9575 and 9550, we may see this market roll over and retest the lows, as well as the lows of Wednesday's session around 94.50 level. Currently the market is making new lows. We've broken through that Asian session, forming a bit of a sloping descending triangle. If the market was to break through this, we could see the market retest the highs of the Asian session and the highs of the day. But again, one push, two push, 1, 2, 3 for dropping back and pulling back above 95.50. Heading into the London Open, we may watch this lower falling trend line, looking for a possible reversal back through the swing low if it does form. And lastly, our British pound. Excuse me. Big strong day yesterday, pulling back off the peak formation, back inside of the highs of the month. Currently trading at 2,600. The market possibly may have a second day follow through. There are stops below 2,500. Market has not had much of a pullback so far today, above the highs of the day. On our 4-hour chart, just zoom in a bit, we can see this market similar, has had one push, two push, and a 1, 2, 3 at the peak formation. The last low before the high has been broken, and if we measure that, the first area for potential target is 24.28, and furthermore past that 22.50 if the market was to continue to fall. Currently sort of pulling back underneath of that first expansion as we head into the Europe-London Open. Still have a rising trend line and coincides and dissects or intersects at that 24.25 level. When we look at our 15-minute chart, we can see similar to the pound yen, one push, two push, and a 1, 2, 3 potentially forming for a peak formation at the high of the day. Okay, we'll just mark this off. How the market handles this into the London Open will give us some insight as to whether or not we may see this move continue through the highs, swing highs of the U.S. session, or potentially pull back and retest the lows of the Asian session. Just closing on a quote from Milton Friedman: "There's no such thing as a free lunch." And I think that's true for trading in general. Even when you get the trades right, they will put heat on you. So stay disciplined, traders. Stay focused. Be prepared for your session today. End the week on a strong note. There's going to be some good moves. Stick to the trading plan, and may the markets go with you.
Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at StaceyBurkeTrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.